After a year of going to doctors and the hospital for various tests, in 2013 I'd been finally diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And the reason I kept going to the doctors is because I kept falling asleep. I'd be playing with my daughter, who was 2 at the time, and I'd fall asleep. I'd go places, I'd just fall asleep. And we ruled out narcolepsy, so we knew it was something else. I'm estranged from my family, and so don't have a family as such to rely on. But I have very good friends. I approached the children's centre and said, well, is there any help that I could get? What can I do? You know, what would you recommend? And I got a phone call from, I think her name was Christine, from the family group conference, and said, well, I'd like to set one up. I had no idea what she was talking about. I thought, is this, you know, I've heard stories about a child in need thing where all these people turn up. But she kind of put my mind to rest and said, well, no, this is actually just your family or friends or whoever that you would like to invite to come and see what help they could input. And funny enough, 9 people turned up, and between them they kind of accepted a role as such. One person would help with food, one person would help with dressing Savannah in the mornings, someone took me to my appointments, various things, helped me get washed and things like that. And it was really, really good for me, because I didn't have that worry, that extra worry about, you know, who's going to take Savannah to school, you know, how am I going to feed myself, because I was very weak. I had 1.5 years of chemotherapy, and even now I still get side effects from that. It was such a really integral time for me, and it was really worrying because, you know, I mean, I had my daughter after 9 pregnancies. She's my only living child. Various stages, you know, I've lost my children, so, you know, she's my only child, and I'm quite hypersensitive and hypervigilant, but in the same vein, I want the best for her. So I was not able to do that, which was quite stressful for me, and having a family group conference where people would come in and say what they could do and what time they could offer really helped, and is still helping to this day. I would recommend having a family group conference before any of the services get involved. I didn't need any services. For example, social services didn't get involved in the end because I had enough support from friends. Everyone gets a bit nervous when they hear of, you know, someone else coming in, but the person who leads the family group conference is literally just a chairperson to make sure, you know, everyone speaks, takes a turn in speaking, that it doesn't get out of hand. There's no, you know, pointing fingers or anything. It's just quite organic as such, because they're your friends and family. I would recommend it highly. I think it's a great idea for people like me who were in need and didn't want to put a strain on the social system as such and get social services involved.